Hey everybody, it's Liz. I'm here today to share another project for Sockcrafter's shop. I will put Sockcrafter's link down below so you guys can go head over to her shop. She's got amazing products, as I'm sure all of you know. Great prices too, and right now I do have a discount code for you. It is LizFans, and if you use that discount code, you can get 10% off your purchase of $30 or more. So that's a really great deal on top of the already amazing prices that Saw has. So anyways, today's project I will share in just a second. I just wanted to share with you real quick some of the things that I used. I have not played with my Gorjuss girls in quite a while. These are some of the older ones. And so I thought I'd play with one of them. I recently ordered some of the newer ones, so I can't wait to get those. But I thought I'd give the old ones a little playtime. So this is the one that I used in my project, and she is so cute, hanging on the little clothesline. She's just adorable, clothesline I should say. And she is called Hang Me Up to Dry. So these are some of the older ones. So these, it's been a while since I got these. I think I ordered them directly from Santoro, so these are super cute. But that's the stamp that I used. I also used this paper collection by Jody Lee for Prima, and it is called Princess. I'm sure you guys are all familiar with it. I really like this collection for the soft pastel colors, and I just thought it would go really well with the idea that I had in mind for my project, and I'll share that with you in just a second. So I just really like the soft colors of this collection. And then I also used this really cool ribbon that my hubby got on one of his trips. He picked this up at the paper source. There's one I think in Houston, but this is really cool ribbon. It's got like these little leaves on it, and I like to wind it up around my project. So I used this ribbon as well. And here is my project. I think it turned out so stinking cute. Look at that. Oh my gosh, it is so adorable. So cute. This is Saw's photo display stand, I think it's called, or wood photo display. And she has them in her shop with different sentiments. I think like some say beautiful, love, things like that. And she sent me the one that says adorable. And as soon as I saw it and I knew that I wanted to play with my Gorjuss girls, this is the one that I had in mind. And I thought she was just so cute. And she would go so perfect on this little stand. I wanted to create a sort of like little, summery scene. Summer's right around the corner, you guys. And, when I was growing up, my mom did hang our clothes on a oh my gosh, my mind's slipping, but anyways, on, clothesline like this. We did have washer and dryer and all that good stuff, but I just always liked the smell of the clothes hanging on the clothesline, you know what I mean? I don't know, it's kind of nice. So she used to hang some of her clothes there, and it is such a playful little stamp, so cute. So I just put the little stand together, very easy to do. Some of the places I did add a little bit of glue just to make sure, to reinforce it, that it's not going to go anywhere. And then of course I covered the whole thing. I did want to use up the papers. I did paint it first because I didn't know how much I was going to cover, but I did paint it with a vintage white acrylic paint. I think it's by Folk Art, and I think it is called Vintage White. So that's what I used, painted, wherever I thought I wasn't going to cover with paper. Okay, and then of course I used the pretty papers to cover them up. And this stand, the base of it is bigger than 6 by 6, since the little pad is 6 by 6. So I had to cut an extra piece, but you can barely tell where I attached the papers, so it's okay. Really pretty, and I covered the whole thing, where I wanted covered with the paper collection. And here you can see where I used that pretty ribbon as a vine to go around the little pillars here. And then I just added like little pink roses for my stash, so really cute. And then here is, the whole thing is covered with the paper. As you can see, this is the back of that little hanging thing. And all my edges are inked with Vintage Photo. And see, I covered even the back of that. So the whole thing is just covered with the paper. Really sweet and pretty, and like I said, it was so easy to put together. And then, so what I did is I wanted, I used my Copics, of course, to color the little stamped image. I normally do my Gorjuss girls with black hair, but this time I thought I would do a brunette, since I thought the brown would just go better with the paper collection. And I thought her hair came out really cute, and she is just adorable. I gave her little freckles. And there's her little teddy bear. I paper pieced the dress from the designer paper from the collection, and I also paper pieced the socks. and then I just colored the little clothespins. And it's just so cute, and I just kind of, you know, cut around her, and I adhered her onto this little frame with some foam tape for dimension. In the background you can see the little clouds. The little clouds are from the Magnolia Doohickey. I think it's the volume 4, if I'm not mistaken. And I just used little scraps from the paper collection to die cut the little clouds. I dabbed a little bit of white acrylic paint on top of them, and then adhered them to the back of the frame. Again, just some of them have foam tape to give them dimension. I thought it was just really, really cute. And I added like little splatters of white acrylic paint. I hope you could see that in the background, just to kind of give it the effect of, you know, the sky, you know, being dotted with clouds, and you know, it's not always just all blue, so really pretty. And you can see I inked all of my edges, of course. I just used a little bit of jute twine to tie the frame to, you know, the base. It's already got some pre-drilled holes in there, and I used a paper punch to punch through the paper to get the, you know, the holes aligned perfectly. And then I have some little butterflies, and these are little butterfly stamps that I have in my stash. I stamped onto the paper, and then I fussy cut them out and added little pearls to the center. And then I adhered them to the little photo display. So very cute. So it just looks like she's, you know, sitting on top of this clothesline, and there's little butterflies flying around all around her, and she's close, you know, the clouds are in the background, and I just think it's really pretty. And here you can see some of that ribbon just winding around the little pillars and on top. And then for the sentiment, it says adorable. And I wanted to sort of mimic the background paper. And so what I did is I painted it white first, that vintage white color. And then I used a stamp, a script stamp that I have in my stash. It's also, actually it's a Tim Holtz one. And then I used archival ink in coffee to lightly stamp onto the words. You see that? So it's just in some of the letters, not the whole thing. And then what I did is I took a sponge dauber and different color paints. I have pink, I have like a peachy color, and white, of course, and I sort of dabbed on the letters. Again, I wanted to recreate the look of the papers. Okay, so really sweet and pretty. And once I was done with that, I just went over it with the vintage photo. So it just picks up on the, you know, I guess some of the little corners of the letters. And it came out really cute. I think it just goes really, really well with the papers. And then I've got a little butterfly right on top, again stamped. It's a stamp from my stash. I think it's an old Martha Stewart stamp, I should say. And I added a little pearl to its center. I got some more pink flowers for my stash, some more butterflies, as you can see, and they're so pretty. I have them in, you know, several different sizes, and these are the medium ones and the small ones. And I think it turned out really cute. And Linda, who is FaithChick777, hi Linda, she recently did one of these, very similar. I think hers was a little different, but she had a little fence in hers, and I thought, what a cute idea. I've got that exact same little fence, picked it up Christmas time, and so I attached part of that fence in the back, as you can see, and it's basically attached to the here on the sides. I used E6000, and I adhered it on you know, each of the sides. The cute little fence, right? A little white picket fence, perfect. It was already white and everything. All I had to do was cut it to size and adhere it on there. And it's just so cute. And then I used my Magnolia Doohickey dies again. These are from the volume 4. And first I die cut using green cardstock, and then I die cut just the flower pot, the flower parts, or the tops, with different scraps from the pattern paper, so that I can get the different colored flowers. I inked them with vintage photo and added a little bit of foam tape to them to give them dimension, and I just adhered them to the cardstock flower. And so then I have them in the background right along the fence line, and I thought that would just really be cute, and it just looks adorable. And then here I have another butterfly stamp, and then I've got some little flowers for my stash. And then because, you know, I wanted to create like a little summer scene, like I said, you know, she's basically outside hanging up her clothes. And this little pail would be like her little wash bucket. And I picked this up at Hobby Lobby, really cute. And I made little skirts out of lace. And I know it's probably going to be hard to see, and I kind of just stuffed them in there. Like, this is all her, you know, her clean clothes that she's getting ready to hang. So there's some there in the background, and I just made a little skirt. So it's so cute. I just cut a piece of lace, added a little bit of hot glue, and then kind of like, you know, closed it together, and it made like a little skirt. Really cute. And I just added, you know, them to the little bucket, and her little wash bucket out there. And then just some little tiny clothespins. These are little mini clothespins. I think I picked these up at Michael's a while ago. And I have like 3 just scattered on the ground. Because, you know, she was in the middle of hanging her clothes, and she's like, you know what, I'm taking a break. I'm going to have some fun. I'm going to jump on this thing and swing around. So that is it. I think it turned out so adorable. I think it just goes really well with the sentiment. And I had a lot of fun, you know, playing with my Gorjuss girl. I haven't played with them in a while. And it's just such a cute little scene. I think this would be great in like a little girl's room. You know, just a little piece of decor. Really super sweet and cute. I love it. And I had so much fun doing this. This was such an easy project too. Like I said, these are so easy to put together. You've got, you know, your 2 bases here. You just glue them together, and then these 2, just stick them in there. There's like a little tab in there you could stick them on. Super easy and just absolutely adorable. So that is my project share for today. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. And let me know what you think about my project. I think it turned out really cute, but I'd love to hear what you think. So anyways, guys, thank you so much, and don't forget to head on over to Sockcrafters Shop. And again, you can use your discount code LizFans for 10% off your purchase of $30 or more. So thanks again, and I'll see y'all real soon. Have a good one, everybody.